Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause...
What's going on, everybody? We got a lot to get into today. I know I had to jam a little bit of music as I got, finishing preparing everything. Obviously, we got some coaching changes to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about the Senior Bowl on the offensive side of the ball that I noticed during the practices. And then, of course, it is Super Bowl week. And so even though the Tennessee Titans are not playing in the Super Bowl, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good game that's going to happen between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, I will talk a little bit about that. So, again, everybody, make sure y'all go ahead and start sharing this show out. And go ahead and let's get this show shared out to everybody, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can come on in. And we could definitely have a good time as we get ready to talk about these coaching changes the Tennessee Titans have made. And we're going to go ahead and get this show started in less than 60 seconds.
Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody?
What's going on, Titan Nation and football fans everywhere? Welcome into TNT Tonight. I'm your man, Chris, a.k.a. Blue Enforcer, and we're going to have a very, very fun episode on this on this evening. And we're going to definitely do a lot of talking about the coaching changes that have been made. Of course, the Tennessee Titans now have a new offensive coordinator. So we're definitely going to talk about that. But definitely make sure that y'all do share this show out. Go ahead and share it out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If on Facebook, TNT Enforcers, or any of the Titan pages, y'all know where to go. On Twitter, I'm at TNT Blue Enforcer, and also on Instagram at Titans_in_truth. Definitely come, definitely make sure y'all spread that out to everybody, and in that way, they can come on in and join the show and enjoy everything that we're about to talk about. So we're going to go ahead and get into all of this right now. Of course, also this show will be out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, and Google Podcasts as well. So that's going to be coming very, very soon. And for everybody, as people start coming in, make sure each of you smash that like button. Go ahead and smash that like button and do me a favor and also help me out with that as well. And then if you're new to the channel and haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I don't know where you've been, but go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also ring that bell so that way you get a hit all. So that way, every time I go live or I'm about to go live, you'll get a notification so you'll know to come and join me as we do get ready to talk about these coaching changes. So obviously, the big news that came out is, of course, the Tennessee Titans promote passing game coordinator Tim Kelly to offensive coordinator. And, it really wasn't a shock to anybody that this happened. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I actually kind of thought it was going to go in a different direction. I actually thought that perhaps they would, go outside the box a little bit and, maybe go a little bit different. But Vrabel doing his usual, deciding to promote from within. And, we're definitely going to talk about this. I see everybody is starting to file in. Starting to file in. I said, Ty Fox says, can't wait to hear your opinions. Lay it on us. Miss Mims asking how you doing. I'm doing good, Miss Mims. Hopefully you're doing well also. Let's see. AZ Mick, what's up? I know of course, our resident Titans hater is in the building. Kent Woods saying that they'll go 0-17. Titan Fox, you have to. No, Titan Fox said, "What did you literally copy and paste that comment?" Saw it on 2 other shows today. And Kent, Titan Fox, you gotta understand. I know that Kent comes to me out of a place of love as much as he hates the Tennessee Titans right now. The fact of the matter is, you kind of got to laugh at it. That's kind of what I do. I just take it and I laugh at it because, some of the stuff that Kent says, even though he does have a couple of points from time to time, it's hilarious. So, got love for Kent, but you gotta take it, you gotta laugh, when it comes to that. Ms. Mims says, I'll be glad when the Super Bowl is over with. Well, I mean, it's football. It's football. It's a good reason to gather with some friends or with some family and just watch football, not have no vested interest, no blood pressure going up, no bad, no feelings no matter what happens in the game. Now, of course, if you bet a lot of money on the game, that might be a different story. Now, I might put a little bit of money on the game. I might put like 10, $20 on the game and see if I get somewhere. I mean, I might put $50 to $75 on the Eagles to win, but I might put like a little bit of money on the Chiefs to cover. So I might do something like that. Then that way, hey, I could win something. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's just what I'm saying. Tyvon said, I'm just giving them crap. So, Now, see, Man Hour is in the building. He's definitely a Kansas City guy. We're definitely going to talk. Definitely going to talk about. Definitely going to talk about the Super Bowl in just a bit. You know what, Ty Fox? That is one of my cardinal rules. I don't bet a lot on Titans games, like spread and money line. Now, if I'm doing like a whole schedule of games, just I usually bet on every game just money line, and I might do like $1. I might do a $1 bet on all games, money line. And that's why I might pick the Titans to win if I feel they're gonna win the game. But as far as a serious bet, nah, I usually don't do that unless I'm just assured that I'm going to win. But I rarely bet on the Titans because it's crazy. Um, Now I might do like a parlay, like in game, as far as like say, hey, Derrick Henry will score a touchdown, or Tannehill might throw for this many yards, or something like that. I might do maybe a 4-leg parlay, so to speak. That's about it. Man Hour says, yeah, 1.5 spread with Kansas City. Shout out to the Man Hour Network. Of course, letting me, helping me in doing the show and things like that. You definitely go check out Man Hour Sports Talk. Definitely does a lot of good stuff. I know he's a Kansas City fan, and I believe one of our colleagues is a Bears fan as well. So, and Alex, I'm gonna hold your question. I will get to that a little bit later towards the end. We will definitely talk about that. So let's get into the coaching changes. So obviously, Tim Kelly gets promoted to offensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans. Of course, he was the passing game coordinator before, and this was a part of a lot of coaching changes that were made on this staff. And here are some of the other coaching changes that were made as well. Of course, Charles London, a guy that Mike Vrabel interviewed for the offensive coordinator position, was brought in from Atlanta. He was the quarterback's coach in Atlanta, but he will be the quarterback's coach as well as the passing game coordinator, taking over, but basically what Tim Kelly did. Lori Locust, of course, who was an assistant in Tampa Bay, is now going to be a defensive quality control coach, and she's going to be assisting Ryan Crow with the outside linebackers. And so she actually becomes the first full-time female coach in the history of the Tennessee Titans Houston Oilers franchise. She definitely did some coaching in some other schools, like in college and everything. But what she did, she was an intern with the Baltimore Ravens defensive line coaching intern in 2018. And of course, in 2019, she was a assistant defensive line coach with the Birmingham Iron. I believe that is, that was AAF. Never mind. But yeah, she was an assistant defensive line coach in the AAF, and then became the Tampa Bay assistant defensive line coach in Tampa Bay for 3 years, and now is a defense quality control coach, but will also help assist with the outside linebackers. So she is the first female full-time coach on the staff in Titans Oilers history. So that's actually pretty great. Chris Harris officially named as the defensive passing game coordinator and cornerbacks coach. He comes over from the Washington Commanders. And of course, I believe San Francisco and Houston have tried to sort him out for defensive coordinator. And so far, he is going to be sticking with us. Some other changes as far as coaches going to different roles. Pat O'Hara is now the pass game analyst. formerly the quarterbacks coach, which now Charles London will do. Luke Steckel goes from tight ends coach to run game analyst. Tony Dews goes from running backs coach to tight ends coach. And then Jason Hoteling, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, formerly was the assistant offensive line coach, now is the offensive line coach, taking over for Keith Carter. And then Justin Hamilton, I'm not sure who he is another defensive quality control coach. I believe was a defensive coordinator for the Virginia Tech Hokies. So those are just some of the other staff changes that were made. But the main one that we're going to talk about is Tim Kelly. And this is kind of his resume coming in. Coming into the NFL, he was with the Houston Texans from 2014 to 2021. Started off as an offensive quality control coach. Also did some assistant O-line work. Also was a tight ends coach in 2017 to 2018, and then was offensive coordinator for 3 years. Also a quarterback coach from 2019 to 2021. And then, of course, in 2022, he was the passing game coordinator and is now the offensive coordinator. So, I mean, he does come with some experience as a play caller and, definitely was there in Deshaun Watson's good years, even though they had a pretty good staff, as far as DeAndre Hopkins, and, you had a good running game. You had a pretty nice team around him. So, I mean, and he did help Davis Mills become a decent quarterback, in 2020, 2021. Definitely did some good there. But here are my thoughts on this. And I know this is what everybody's waiting on. This was a extremely typical same old Titans type of hire. And this is why I say that. If you could have fired Todd Downing a long time ago during the season, and you could have given Tim Kelly a audition of sorts to see if he could be the right offensive coordinator for this team. You could have, after the Philly game or after the Cincinnati game, you could have given Tim Kelly, 3 to 4 games. Let's see what you got, and see if he could be the offensive coordinator going forward for this team. And I just felt like this hire was just status quo. It was typical, same old Titans. This was a typical Vrabel move. It was predictable. I mean, I think we all figured most likely Tim Kelly was going to be offensive coordinator, even though a lot of us in our hearts wanted it to be somebody else. And Derek saying he didn't get notifications. You know what? My apologies on that. I kind of put the show late. Jameson says this got a shoulder shrug. He says, sorry I'm late, didn't get my notification. So I apologize for that. I was a little late putting everything out. It felt like this was typical. This is a Vrabel maneuver, status quo, even though the Titans were 32nd in passing, like 28th in scoring, and 30th in total total offense. Vrabel, in a way, basically was like, we're good. We're good the way we are. We're going to be fine. Tannehill's excited. So it basically says they're going to run it back one more time. They're going to run it back with Tannehill, Derrick Henry again. And I don't know if any significant offensive moves are going to be made. I mean, we'll see what Rand Carthon's going to do. But Vrabel doing the Vrabel usual. And this was some stuff that he said from his press conference, and I'm going to get to some of your comments in a minute. Mike Vrabel basically stated that Tim Kelly was the perfect fit. And he also went on to say that he didn't feel that the offense was broken and that he chose good people, going with, that, is going with what he believes in. And, what he believes in and what he thinks is good for the team. And that he also mentioned that he didn't think, if you promote Tim Kelly to offensive coordinator and fire Todd Downing midseason, he didn't think it would have mattered. He didn't think it would have made a difference if you make that change in season. And so, again, it sounded like status quo. It sounded like, he was getting yes people that was going to just do what he wants. And, he felt he was the safe move to make, was to promote from within instead of going outside, getting a fresh face, new ideas, because he was afraid that somebody was going to probably challenge his authority, challenge him and say, hey, you take care of the defense. Leave the offense to me. I got this. And Vrabel doesn't like being challenged. Vrabel, he is the arrogant, stubborn. He's the all-knowing Mike Vrabel. He knows everything. He's basically a football god in his own mind. He's like, I know everything. I know how to run a defense. I know how to run an offense. I know how to make this the perfect offense for this team. And that's exactly what Vrabel is banking on. And so I say this. Mike Vrabel is putting his neck on the line. Because I would say this. After what happened last year, I think Rand Carthon sat down with Vrabel and said, hey, all right, I'm going to give you another year. Prove to me that last year was a fluke. And you get us back to the playoffs, get us a division title, and get us competing for a Super Bowl. And Vrabel is praying to the gods that Tim Kelly works out. Because if this doesn't work, and Captain Trips took the words right out of my mouth, if this fails, if Tim Kelly fails this year, Vrabel's gone. I believe that. This is Mike Vrabel's last stand. For the last 3 years, he has blamed the players. He basically going status quo is saying, we got the right coaches in place. The players need to be better. And he's been fighting on that hill for 3 years now. If this fails, Mike Vrabel is as good as gone. Vrabel's job I think, is about to be on the line. Like, after last season, I thought, I kind of thought it would be, I was like, okay, they might, Vrabel might be in trouble. Vrabel might be on the hot seat, especially with a new GM. And I thought with Rand Carthon, they went outside the organization. The pressure is put on Vrabel. I at least thought his seat was getting warm. But I think after this move yesterday, it's getting even warmer to where it's starting to simmer and get hot a little bit. And if this team does not come out and produce out of the gates and doesn't get the AFC South, I think Vrabel is as good as gone. Because again, Vrabel comes off as stubborn and arrogant. He comes off as, I know everything. And so I'm going to get all of your reactions to this in just a bit. So I want y'all to tell me, what do y'all think of this? I honestly think Vrabel's job is on the line. Derek Roberts with a super chat. I appreciate. He says, I'll give Kelly a chance. Wish we could have auditioned Kelly the last 4 games of the season just to make sure. And I agree. I appreciate that super chat. Let's see. Alex Mann says, I'm looking forward to Lori. From everything I've heard, it sounds like she's a female version of Vrabel. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Ty Fox says, went from Baltimore with an awesome pass rush to Tampa for 2 years. Also had a great pass rush defensive line. She's a shining star of these moves. I think it's a very good move to bring her in. Absolutely. You know, it's different. It's innovative. You know, so I think that's very interesting. Jameson says the hire of Tim Kelly got a shoulder shrug. Steven says, I saw this coming. I think everybody did. Elite says if he scores at least 35 points in some game, I'll be satisfied. By the way, Titans haven't scored 40 since 2020. I agree. I'm like, get past 27. Get past 27. You know, so I mean, you know, and Ty Fox says it's almost predictable as Todd Downing on first or third down. Think about our first quarter scoring. Amazing, scripted by Kelly, rest of the game, Downing's hands fail. We're going to find out. We're definitely going to find out now how much of a hand did Tim Kelly really have on the offense last year. Ian says it was a standard hiring, same old thing. However, I'll wait to see how things go before I say this is a bust hire. James says this puts more pressure on Vrabel to get it done this year. And again, I agree. This really puts pressure on Mike Vrabel to produce. Now, Kent comes in with a point. If this happens, the Vrabel getting fired, the Vrabel needs to be fired chants are going to get loud. Daly start the year tackle as well, and he will say he's the best offensive lineman they have, which we all know the dud Dennis Daly is the worst offensive lineman they have. Derek Roberts says, how long is Tim Kelly's deal? We don't know the specifics of that. It could be 1 year, so we don't know. Alex says, I wonder if Vrabel is trying to get himself fired. If he is, he's doing a pretty decent job of it. I mean, Jameson says, I don't know if you make a change during the season. We might have won the AFC South. And again, I think if you switch to Tim Kelly and you win the AFC South, it justifies the move. It would justify, you doing that. And so that's why I think, a lot of people say Vrabel is swimming in lava. I agree. Kenyon Maxwell says, let's see what happens before we start to stress. I want an outside hire. And you know what? This might be the right decision. This could be a good move. This could end up being a good move. We're going to find out. That is exactly what we're going to find out. Ty Fox says, Daly is so bad he should transfer to a high school team so he can continue to block Ghost. Get him some class. Oh, man, that's good. That's good. Yeah, definitely made a hire. I'm excited to see the team be healthy. Dennis Kelly's brother. Yes. Tim Kelly is the Undertaker, Dennis Kelly's brother. Derek Roberts says, how much is Tim Kelly's scheme different from Downing? That is exactly what we're about to find out. Is Tim Kelly a little bit different from Todd Downing, or is it going to be same old, same old? I will say to be determined, because I just don't know. I just don't know. That's why I said this hiring I thought was status quo. I thought it was I don't. It's not motivating, to be honest. To me, I don't feel motivated by this move at all. I really don't. Hopefully, more people. I think a lot more people will start coming on in to the show and everything. But it's not a move that inspires confidence. Let's just say that. I don't feel I don't feel extremely confident about this move. I think this is a slight upgrade, but not a great one. That will remain to be seen. What I will say is this: if the Tennessee Titans go from, say, 32nd in passing offense to, say, 24, I'd say 24, anywhere between 20 and 24, that can be an improvement. If you could take this offense, at least get it to at least inside of the 20s into the teens, into the late teens, that's an improvement. That's a start. But that's, that's what it is. Key Maxwell says no flag film showed us. And I did take a look. I did take a look at that video with no flags film, and I thought it was impressive what he put together with that. So I definitely, think there are some good things he could do. Captain Tripp says timing sucked. And I agree, because I kept thinking to myself, if Vrabel was going to make Tim Kelly the offensive coordinator, he would have done it already. Why hasn't he done it already? And with this happening the week of the Super Bowl, I'm like, you could have made this move weeks ago and saved us a lot of time. Elite said, what will you do if the Titans resign Dennis Daly? I would probably say, in my own mind, I would figuratively, I'm on the second floor. I'm upstairs in my house. I would probably open up my window and want to jump off of it. Jump out of my window and just crash below. If that happened. I'm not saying I'm not going to actually do that, y'all. Let me say that for the record. And, I will say I don't condone, I wouldn't condone anybody committing suicide or anything like that, because we know there's a lot of mental health issues going on in America. And, I got to give a shout out to, and I know this is a sidetrack, but I'm just going to say this because I know we've had a lot of bad press on the Memphis police force for what happened with the Tyree Nichols investigation. And, that video that was just awful to watch. I give a shout out to Officer Tina Shaw of the Memphis Police Department. Of course, last week talked a young man off of the I-40 Big M bridge that we have in Memphis that gets lit up. Talked him off of jumping off of that bridge because he was becoming a father. He felt stressed, as being a young parent, and she talked him off of that bridge and gave him a hug and, basically showed him love. And I appreciate that because it shows there are good police officers out there that will do the right thing by people. And, we know mental health is a very big deal in this society today. So I do not condone suicide or doing something bad to yourself. Please don't. Okay? For when I said jump out of my window, I was joking, but I apologize if I offend somebody, because, somebody really trying to do that, it's not funny at all. But I would not like it if we re-signed, if Dennis Daly is still on this roster. I would not like that at all. So, this man said no more people for the Texans, please. I think Vrabel got everybody for the Texans. So who else can we get? James says cautiously optimistic the hire will work. Is Tim Kelly a Malik Tannehill or Dobbs guy? We're gonna find out. I think now. I know Titans Rossi and some others believe that Rand Carthon wants to eventually develop Malik and get him developed to where he can be similar to Patrick Mahomes, not Patrick Mahomes himself, but close to it. Are we drafting wide receivers in the O-line coming from Brandon? We got to draft both. We got to get both. Hugo says, tired of AFC South or South coaches and rejects. Agreed. And Brandon, yep, like we said that earlier. Vrabel's on the hot seat now. It's getting hotter. Ty Fox says, Kelly would prefer Tannehill. Rand Carthon is a Malik guy. The anticipation of finding out which route they go is exciting. Sorry, TNT wants to jump out this window. Talking about Dennis Daly. I'm like, yeah, if Dennis Daly's on the team, I'm not going to be happy. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Yep, he did. Vrabel basically fooled us all. He fooled us all. King Isaac said, should have tried Kelly the last few games to see how he called. I agree. Again. And James says, unfortunately, bad cops get the media. And that's true. That's definitely true. Derek says, do we need to draft Derrick Henry's successor? And that's the thing about all of this is I think Vrabel is giving it one last shot. Tannehill, practically on the last year of his deal. Henry, on the last year of his deal. A lot of guys are on the last years of their deal. I think Big Jeff is definitely going to get re-signed because he got a vote of confidence. He got a vote of confidence from Rand Carthon. He met with Rand and you know, he was like, hey, I'm 1,000% behind the hire. And you know, I'm 1,000% behind the hire. And he feels confident he will be returning. To the Tennessee Titans. So I definitely like that. Let's see. So I think, you know, we're definitely gonna find out. I think you know, we're gonna find out which way they're gonna go. Because after this year, if we don't make the playoffs, I could see a total rebuild. I could see Carthon trading back a little bit in the draft, at least a little bit, get some assets, get loaded up, and then say, you know what, if Tannehill doesn't get us anywhere, or if Malik, you know, is not the guy, you know, going forward, we could draft a big-time quarterback. You know, we could draft a big-time quarterback. So we could definitely do that. Ty Hugo says, any truth to what they're saying here in Houston, Titans are looking to trade up for the number one pick. If so, we wasted Henry's prime. He can't wait on Bryce to develop. Now, we won't know that until the move is actually made. There is some rumors out there. I don't know how legit those rumors are. I think judging by this move, I don't think they're trading up to number one. Although I could be shocked, but I just don't see it happening, to be perfectly honest. I think we should have waited on Matt Nagy or Eric Bieniemy or the Eagles quarterback coach. That I would have thought that too. But we're going to go ahead and keep going with the show and talk a little bit about the Senior Bowl that happened down in Mobile this last week. And so I went back, tried to look at some of the practices as much as I could. Definitely paid attention. Specifically, we're going to talk offense because I looked at the offensive line defensive line matchups. And I also looked at wide receiver DB matchup. So I definitely looked at some of that, and this is just the things I thought of. Looking at the offensive line, I have 5 guys that I thought were my top 5 guys, and then a couple of guys that are dark horses. Uh, for me on the offensive line, and this is in no particular order. The 5 guys that I thought impressed me the most is Florida guard. One is Florida guard Osiris Torrance. I like that name, by the way. I wasn't sure if I was going to like him, but I definitely, I mean, he was physical, held up at the point of attack, good anchor as far as being able to block and hold up. And I mean, did very well as a guard. And I mean, hearing, of course, from Jim Wyatt saying that they don't expect Nate Davis to be re-signed, tells you now you're probably going to have to fill at least 4 positions on your offensive line. Osiris Torrance definitely looked good. John Michael Schmidt, the center out of Minnesota, definitely had some good days. I definitely was very impressed with that. Darnell Wright out of Tennessee definitely looked good at right tackle. And I will say this. If you draft Darnell Wright, you can move NPF to the left side. A lot of media people thought, Teron, Buck, and others, that's not entirely crazy to move NPF to the left side if you draft a guy like a Darnell Wright. So you got to also remember, everybody, this is lying season. A lot of lies are going to get told within the next few months, between now, the combine later, at the end of the month, and then, of course, leading up to the draft and free agency. A lot of lies are going to get told. Number 4, what I thought was impressive was Jalen Duncan, a tackle out of Maryland. I thought was very impressive on both the left and right side. So Jalen Duncan, I would not mind taking either in the middle of the second round, or maybe in the third round if he's there. So I mean, I was definitely impressed with him. I think I was probably the most impressed with him because he was a name I didn't, originally hear. Osiris Torrance, has been pegged to possibly go in the first round. John Michael Schmidt was a name that I started to hear. Darnell Wright, we've heard. Cody Mock is another because they tried him at tackle, they tried him at guard, and at center. So looks like he can play multiple positions. I could probably see him best as a guard. Maybe Dylan Radin still gets a shot, maybe at left tackle. We could definitely see about that as well. Maybe Dylan Radin is at guard, and then you could put Cody Mock on the right side or vice versa. You could definitely see that. What's up, DO9? What's going on? So Ty Voss said, I thought you said lion season like Detroit. Now, Detroit was getting better. I do agree. But yes, lying as in telling a lie, not telling the truth as I like to tell the truth. So Cody Mock is another one I thought was impressive, even though I believe on Chat Sports, I was listening to them. And, the guy was like, he didn't think Cody Mock was that impressive. I thought he did some good. And then I have DeJuan Jones, the big, huge guy out of Ohio State, only practiced day 1 on the right side. He only practiced day 1, and he mauled a few people, put him to the ground. And I guess after that, his agent was like, that's it. You did all you need to do. You're getting out of Mobile. You ain't got to do nothing else. Which I thought was a bad idea because I would have liked to have seen if that was a fluke or not. or is he just a big guy? You know, we've seen where there are some big guys who maybe don't do that well against the smaller, speedier pass rushers. But Dewan, 6'8", big dude, big reach. I mean, he mauled a few guys. Can't understate that. So your name isn't Titans in Fiction. That's great. And of course, the lady, the lady of Titans in Truth, the lady, who is a big supporter, said, looking forward to enjoying the Super Bowl with delicious tailgate food. Yeah, I was actually invited. I'm actually going to a couple of Super Bowl parties this year. Going to one for the first half, going to one for the second half. So trying to make sure I spread myself around to everybody. So we're going to have a good time. But a couple of dark horses that I liked. Some names you may not know. Ryan Hayes, a tackle out of Michigan. They worked him on both sides. I thought he was better on the left side than on the right. Olusegun Oluwatimi, the center from Michigan, I thought he had a not good day one, but I think day 2 and 3, I thought he improved. I thought he had a much better day on day 2 than he did on day 1, from what I saw. And I'm not an expert. I'm still learning. Also, Emil Ikior Jr. from Alabama, who played guard and center. I think he could be a nice center prospect in the later rounds. He held his own. He held his own in practices. DO9, what's up? Philip, what's going on with you, sir? And then another one, I forgot to put his name up. His name is escaping me. Matthew Bergeron from Syracuse is another name. Keep your eye on him. I think he did. He had a pretty, a decent week of Senior Bowl practice. I know Lee Hillis of the 615 podcast was pretty high on Blake Freeland from BYU. I was kind of disappointed in him, to be honest. Him and Jared Patterson from Notre Dame. I was pretty disappointed in him. Type 5 says, why are your dark horse names so hard to pronounce? Ryan Hayes, not hard to pronounce. Emil Ikior, not hard to pronounce if you get it right. Now, Olusegun Oluwatimi, not very easy to pronounce. That I will agree with. So I will definitely say that. Oh, man, we got New Mexico in the building. Narv dude, sending some tight love and respect. Thank you. I appreciate that, Narv dude. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. I definitely appreciate that. Jameson says the Michigan O-line was good this year. I agree. I think that was a pretty good O-line, and that's why I mentioned those guys. Now to the wide receiver side, and there were some guys that definitely, a couple of guys did stick out to me, and there were some guys that, improved, that grew on me as time went on. Nathaniel Tank Dell from Houston, probably the best wide receiver of the group that performed in Mobile. I was extremely impressed with him out of the gate. I like Tank Dell. I think he might be gone in the second round. I do. I was extremely impressed while he caught the ball, created a little separation, and had some very good hands. Jonathan Mingo of Ole Miss is growing on me. He is definitely growing on me. I don't think he's A.J. Brown, but he's starting to grow on me, as is Ronnie Bell from Michigan. I think both of these guys grew on me, are growing on me as time went on. We will definitely see how these guys do at the combine. Jaden Reed from Michigan State, I think low line, has, I think, underrated speed, and he can help in the return game as well. I definitely start to get impressed with him. And Michael Wilson from Stanford, I think, caught a lot of eyes at the Senior Bowl as well. Some guys that I was disappointed in, Andre Ilyasovas from Princeton, who was supposed to have this just blazing speed. Eliosivas, excuse me, was supposed to have this just blazing speed that he was supposed to have. I didn't see it. I did not see that speed out of him, or anything like that. So I was left a bit disappointed in him because people were saying, "Man, this kid has blazing speed, 4.3 speed, or anything like that." We'll see how it looks in the combine, but I was not impressed. And Rashee Rice from SMU, I think his draft stock might have dropped a little bit because I wasn't that impressed. I mean, maybe I'm alone in that, but and this is just my thoughts. I thought it was a bit disappointing. If you ask me, I was pretty disappointed with him on that. So those are just some of my thoughts on the Senior Bowl. And Titan Fox says, my pick for second round if we draft O-line at 11. You haven't mentioned either of their names. Did I miss something? Enlighten me. Who am I missing? Let me know what you're talking about, and we'll definitely get into that. Let me know who you thought. But also, I forgot to mention this as well. I thought I put I honestly thought I put that picture up, but I guess I didn't. The Tennessee Titans did make another move as well. I believe today they made a move. I'm trying to see if I have it. Okay, here it is. I'm just going to upload this because also besides having we got Rand Carthon as general manager. We also have a new assistant general manager as well. So I'm about to put that up as well. I forgot to mention this. And everything. So I'm about to mention that right now. And that is Chad Brinker. Chad Brinker, of course, has been brought on. He was a Packers personnel executive. He was a Packers personnel and football administration executive. Chad Brinker. He's now the assistant general manager. So he will be right under Rand Carthon. So if things go well, he could be a guy that could get interviews to be a general manager somewhere. So we're definitely going to see what could happen there. Titan Fox says Jalen Hyatt. Now, Jalen Hyatt, of course, I believe is an underclassman. So he, if you're not a senior, you can't be in the Senior Bowl. That's why, of course, guys like Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, Jalen Hyatt, those guys were not there because they are underclassmen. A lot of guys that are underclassmen are not there. Steve Crosby says edge rusher first round, O lineman second round. I would be upset if they went that route, honestly. I think O-line second round, that's fine. If you go wide receiver first round, then I'm okay with that. So that's just kind of what I think as far as that. And Chad Brinker, again, I don't really know much about him. I know he was with the Packers staff and everything, of course. Albert Breer was the one who broke it, saying Titans are hiring personnel football admin executive Chad Brinker as their new assistant general manager. Got an incredibly diverse skill set and has been on our future GM list the last 2 years. He'll be part of a Cleveland-like model under Rand Carthon. So definitely going to see how impressive that's going to be. But now let's get to the big game. And we know Super Bowl 57 is upon us. So we got you got the Philadelphia Eagles, and yeah, they knew each other back in the day. So now let's get into the big game a little bit before we get out of here. And so we got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Right now, the Eagles are a 1.5-point favorite. The over under is 50 and a half right now. Let me see. Yeah, over under is uh is 50 and a half. So that's right now what it is at the moment. And so you got the two top seeds, the two best teams in the NFL going at it. And this is going to be the first time in NFL history that you have two African American quarterbacks, two black quarterbacks going head to head in a Super Bowl. First time ever. And then also you got the Kelsey Bowl. You got, Travis Kelsey on the Chiefs, Jason Kelsey on the Eagles going head up. Now they're both on offense, so no, they'll get to watch each other. So, you know, I will say this as a betting man, and Alex Mann says, how do you bet on games? I've never done it. What I tend to do, Alex, is number one, I have the BetMGM app. I use the BetMGM app. I also have Caesar Sportsbook, and I think I'm going to start using that too. So I may do like some separate bets on each app, to kind of go different ways, see what I do. As far as that concerned, because point spreads could be different on each app. And so what I tend to do is on the app, for example, it'll say, if you go under NFL, it'll say Chiefs plus 1.5, Eagles minus 1.5. So, and you have spread, you have over under total, and you have money line. Money line means you're just trying to pick who's going to win. So the Chiefs are the underdog. So if it says, for example, right now, I believe it's plus 125 for the Chiefs. So if you want the Chiefs to win, you pick the Chiefs. And when they say plus 125, that means if you bet $100 on the Chiefs, you will win 125. You win 125. And if you pick the Eagles at minus 105, it basically means if you bet $105, you win 100. That's basically what that means. So back to the game, you got, two great offenses going at it. But on one side, you do have a good defensive player in Chris Jones, but you also have a extremely talented defensive line of the Eagles, who I believe are 5 sacks away from a NFL record for most sacks that includes playoffs of all time. So, well, actually, let me see. Eagles minus 125. If I bet $100, you win 180. So, you win a little bit. Now, if I bet 100 on the Chiefs, and this is on the BetMGM app. I bet $100 on the Chiefs, I win 205. But if I bet on the Eagles to win and I bet, $50, I win 90. So I will win what I bet plus an extra $40. So, and it's different doing that than doing, say, the spread. So if I pick the Chiefs to cover the spread and I bet, let's say, $20, I could win. If I bet $100 on the spread, I can win 190. Or if I bet the Eagles to cover, I win 190. So we'll definitely see about that. And so I like this matchup for the Eagles. I think how this is gonna go is that I think this is gonna be a high scoring game. First of all, if you're a betting person, hammer the over. I'm definitely gonna do that. I'm hammering the over. I think it's gonna be more than that. I am hammering the over all the way. I am. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, although I do see that Philadelphia defensive line could be a big problem for Patrick Mahomes. We saw what happened the last time Patrick Mahomes went up against a really good defensive line. He got crushed by Tampa Bay. And the Eagles have, you got a three-headed monster at running back with Miles Sanders, with Boston Scott, and Kenneth Gainwell, and then Jalen Hurts can run it too. And then, of course, you got Devontae Smith and former Tennessee Titan A.J. Brown on the outside. And so the Eagles are better all the way around, but the Chiefs, you can't count them out because they can score. They can definitely score. And that's how I think the Chiefs have a chance in this game. They got to get out early. They got to get up. They got to get up on them early, like 10-0. Typhon says technically 1.5. Mahomes isn't 100% black. Well, he's got part of it in him, so it counts. Steve Crosby says, I got family members who are Eagle fan. I got a friend of mine who's an Eagle fan. James says, I hope the Chiefs win. Ty Foss giving his prediction says, we all know how this is going to end. 38-34 Eagles. I hate the Chiefs, but I actually want them to win. James says, of course, the Andy Reid Bowl. Old team versus new team. Narv Dude says, I'm going for the Eagles. Probably going to be a AJ highlight sometime Sunday. Hope he gives a little love to the Titans. I don't think that's going to happen. I think mainly he's going to stick to the Titans that they made that stupid move. So here's what I think is going to happen. Who's going to win? I'm going with the Eagles. I think 35-31. I might set up a spread to where I think the Chiefs cover. If I'm going at 1.5, I'm going Eagles all the way. If I put the spread at like 3.5 or 4.5, I'm going with the Chiefs to cover. I think, if it's a bigger spread, I think the Chiefs can cover, but I'm going with the Eagles to win. I'm going with the Eagles to win, and I'm going with the over. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be an extremely entertaining football game. I think it's going to be good. So that's what I think is going to happen. 35-31 Eagles win, in my opinion. Now, I saw a comment from Philip. He said, been trying to think of a nickname. He got swag. Remind me of Jam Master Jay. Run DMC, so I'm calling him Rand GMT, GM of the Titans. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Run GMT. Not, it's not bad. I know some people say, uh, I could see Rand GM Rand. Maybe something like that. I don't know. But what do y'all think of that? Definitely, I will say if I do a parlay, I think at any time Travis Kelsey touchdown can happen. I think I think Hurts throws at least 2 TDs. Um, I'm trying to think if I'm going to go with a AJ anytime touchdown or an anytime Devontae Smith touchdown. I could definitely see something like that. So I'm thinking about it, but I think I am going to put a little bit of money on the game. I think I think I'm going to put about $50 on the Eagles. And I may do like a $10 spread on Kansas City to cover. And then I think I'm gonna do maybe a 20 or $30 parlay. Kelsey score anytime, AJ score anytime. Um, you know, I think Mahomes will throw 2 TDs. I think Jalen Hurts might get a TD in there. I think Mahomes, I think will throw for over 250, maybe close to 300. May throw for like 250 or something like that. So I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe if there's an MVP, I might put a small bet on, you know, who's going to be MVP, which I mean, I could either go with, I could see AJ getting it. I could see Hassan Reddick get it, something like that. So that's something that I could definitely see. Ran Forrest ran. That's all par with that. But here is a shut your pie hole moment because I didn't get to do one previously because I didn't do one at the end of the month. But a you know, I gotta do a shut your pie hole moment, and I'm going to share a screen. And I want y'all to see it because obviously you're probably not gonna like it. And here it is. Courtesy of course, the team we all hate, the Houston Texans. I'm gonna full screen it. I just had it. Here we are. I'm going back. Okay, dag, it's starting to mess with me a little bit. There we go. As y'all can see, the Houston Texans decided to try to one up us by doing a whole big, huge welcome for their new head coach, D'Amico Ryans, as he came back to Houston because he played a lot of years there for the Houston Texans. And of course, former 49ers defensive coordinator. They basically tried to do the same thing we did. And I think it's pretty childish that, they did trying to basically upstage us. Um, Trying to upstage us. Trying to upstage us and basically trying to um, do what we did. And there was another thing I wanted to show. Um, I wanted to show I want to see if I could find um the Houston Texan hat. And I'm letting y'all look at that. I'll pull this up. I think my boy Dell had that up with the Houston Texan hat, but it had Titan colors. It had Titan colors. Um, Houston Oiler colors on it, and they trying to, of course, claim the rights to the Houston Oilers. So good and well, they shouldn't do that. So, to the Houston Texans, shut your pie hole, trying to be like, trying to outdo us. I mean, yes, in a bigger picture, I absolutely agree. D'Amico Ryans deserved the job. Absolutely. But yeah, they definitely stole it from us and everything. So I say to that, shut your pie hole. Absolutely. And yes, even though Titans Rossi coming in, and also I forgot to mention this, and somebody else did it for me. Happy birthday to our guy Titans Rossi. His birthday is today. Um, he's officially become an old man. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But happy birthday to Titans Rossi. I think he's turning 40 today. And of course, I know my 40th birthday is coming up as well. Um, so happy birthday, Titans Rossi. Hopefully you had a good one so far, and I hope you continue to have a good one. And I was trying to find the hat that Dell tried to show me, but I thought it was messed up. So Rossi, is still young. 40 is a good year. So, I appreciate that. But definitely happy birthday to Titans Rossi. Um, Definitely shout out to him. Hopefully he had a very, very good birthday. Hopefully everything is good. So everybody say happy birthday to Titans Rossi. And everything. Jameson says, stay in your lane, Texans. I know, but I mean it's very interesting that they did that. Trying to upstage us basically in a way. But everybody, I think that's gonna do it for tonight's show. I thank everybody for tuning in. Everybody definitely go enjoy the big game, the big Super Bowl that's about to happen between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Next week, I may do a small show talking about the Senior Bowl, maybe a couple of defensive guys, maybe a cornerback, um, maybe at defensive line if we need help, or looking at maybe some linebackers because I mean, hey, linebacker could definitely be a need as well. So Tyrod says, thank you, the truth and everybody. I appreciate you, Rossi, and check out his channel as well. I know they did a big show, the Rossi Report. I know he did a big show. He's had a couple of nice shows. And I'm also gonna be live tomorrow night with Titans Coliseum podcast tomorrow night with my guy Morocco Taylor, the ultimate hype man for the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to be live with his crew tomorrow around 7 p.m., 8 p.m. tomorrow night, talking Titans as well. So everybody, go have yourself a good rest of your Wednesday, and I will see y'all next week after the Super Bowl. And everybody, tighten up, because that's all we know how to do. Good night, y'all.